Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. As the temperature drops outside, our absolute first instinct is to make everything inside as cozy as possible for our cats, right? We want them warm, safe, and just totally loved during those harsh winter months. But what if our well-intentioned winter cat care is actually causing some unintended harm? Today, we're breaking down the hidden winter dangers for cats. We're going to use the data to guide us through some really deeply ingrained but kind of problematic seasonal habits. It's a tough question to face right out of the gate. Are your winter comforts actually hurting them? Look, we all do it. We crank up the heaters to chase away the chill, maybe hand out a few extra treats because they just look so cute and cozy curled up on the rug, and we let them sleep the days away. We really think we're protecting them, but the data reveals a pretty startling reality here. Every single winter, thousands of cats silently endure kidney strain, joint stiffness, and chronic pain. And unfortunately, these ailments, they're often triggered by completely innocent mistakes that we owners make without even thinking twice. Section 1. Food and Playtime Pitfalls. The Unseen Impact of Winter Routines. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it contrasts our good intentions with biological reality. Our instinct to comfort them with extra food and uninterrupted rest actually backfires in some pretty massive ways. We think, oh, they need extra fuel to prepare for the cold. It feels right, especially when it gets dark so early. But the reality? It's just wake-in and inflammation. During the winter, cats naturally move less. They burn fewer calories. That's totally normal. But their appetite? That usually stays exactly the same. If your cat lives in a temperature-controlled indoor space, they absolutely do not need that extra winter fuel. That extra scoop slowly adds up. And guys, weight gain in cats isn't just a cosmetic issue. It directly impacts their joints, strains their heart, and even messes with their ability to groom themselves. Over time, this creates fatigue and inflammation, making them look moody or withdrawn. Fortunately, the fix is just smarter feeding. First, keep those portions consistent with their actual activity level. Don't add more food, increase the quality. The next two steps are the real game changers here. Serve wet food and warm it to body temperature. Why does that matter? Because warming up wet food boosts their hydration, significantly improves digestion, and satisfies their appetite way faster without adding a single unnecessary calorie. Hey, treats are absolutely fine in moderation, but during winter, literally every single calorie counts. Now here's another massive misconception. It is so incredibly easy to see a sleeping cat and just assume, oh, they need extra winter rest from the cold. But the hidden truth? A lot of cats are sleeping purely out of boredom and high stress. When the days get shorter and the house gets super quiet, a cat's natural hunting instinct kind of fades. And when that fades, their mood and energy tank right along with it. Remember, cats are biologically hardwired to stalk, chase, and pounce several times a day. Take that physical routine away, and their stress hormones actually spike. That leads to irritability, more weight gain, and destructive behaviors like suddenly shredding the sofa or biting seemingly out of nowhere. The remedy here is incredibly straightforward. First, you just need 10 minutes of focused playtime twice a day. That's enough to completely reset their rhythm. Second, use toys that mimic real prey. Think feather wands or those little moving mice. And third, always let them win at the end of the session. And this brilliantly illustrates a really fascinating biological response. Letting your cat experience that simple victory of catching the toy actually releases dopamine in their body. That's the exact chemical that keeps them feeling calm, content, and totally stress-free. Section 2. Hidden hazards in the air, trapped heat, and toxic scents. So as we move away from daily routines and start looking at environmental dangers, we really have to talk about our homes. We all strive for that draft-free, perfectly sealed house to keep the warmth in, right? But doing that creates stale, allergen-filled air. When we seal every single window tight, we trap the air our cat breathes. It fills up with accumulating dust, carbon dioxide, and all these microscopic allergens. And cats are incredibly sensitive to air quality. In a closed winter environment, their tiny lungs are forced to work so much harder just to get clean oxygen. Over time, this leads to low energy, sneezing fits, and irritated eyes, symptoms that we owners often mistakenly just write off as simple winter laziness. The solution? It's ridiculously easy. Just crack open a window for a few minutes each day, especially when the sun is popping out. No matter how freezing it is outside, your home desperately needs a little fresh air. Let it circulate. Just make sure to keep your cat away from any direct icy drafts, obviously. But if you live in a place where it's literally too extreme to open a window, grab a high-quality air purifier. This one simple act of ensuring clean air can actually add years to your cat's life by protecting their respiratory system and keeping their minds sharp. Now, this next point reveals a genuinely shocking truth for a lot of pet owners. We love filling our homes with cozy scented candles and those warm, soft winter scents. But for your cat, that cozy atmosphere is a toxic lung irritant. A lot of candles, diffusers, and air fresheners release chemicals that are perfectly safe for us, but absolutely toxic for cats. Their bodies physically cannot break down certain compounds found in popular winter scents, like cinnamon, pine, or eucalyptus. When they inhale them, these particles build up. They irritate their lungs and can even damage their liver. If you see your cat sneezing, licking their nose constantly, or totally avoiding strongly scented rooms, those are active warning signs of toxic buildup. Even natural or eco-friendly essential oils can be incredibly harmful when diffused in a closed-off space. But look, you don't have to sit in the dark to keep your cat safe. Here are some actionable, safe alternatives to keep that inviting vibe going. Opt for completely unscented soy candles or unscented beeswax candles. And again, utilize those cat-safe air purifiers. You can absolutely keep your home feeling warm and inviting without triggering unnoticed allergies or putting your cat's internal organs at risk. Section 3. The dry heat danger, the invisible threat of the heater. Let's move to and see how this builds, because this dry heat directly connects to the air quality issues we literally just discussed. That warm and toasty heater we love so much, it's creating invisible dehydration. When you crank up the heat, the air inside becomes incredibly dry. It acts like a giant sponge, pulling moisture from everything in its path. And yep, that includes your cat's skin, nose, and lungs. Now, combine this with the fact that cats naturally have a very low thirst drive. This invisible loss of hydration quietly builds up day after day. At first, there are zero visible symptoms, but this severe dehydration quietly thickens their urine, puts a massive strain on their kidneys, and drastically increases the risk of urinary infections. You might only notice them visiting the litter box a little less often, or maybe sitting near it longer than usual as their bodies just struggle to compensate. To empower you against this invisible threat, here are 3 easy fixes to get that hydration back on track. Step 1. Use a humidifier in the main room to pump some moisture back into their world. Step 2. Place multiple cat water fountains around your home. Flowing water really incentivizes cats to drink way more than a stagnant, boring bowl. And step 3, like we mentioned earlier, serve warm, wet food instead of relying purely on dry kibble. That one small dietary tweak alone pushes essential moisture right into their system, protecting those kidneys from infection without adding any stress to their daily routine. Section 4. Recognizing the silent pain, when laziness is actually suffering. It is an overarching fundamental fact of feline biology. Cats are absolute masters at hiding pain. So the crucial point is this. When everything slows down in the winter, it becomes incredibly easy for cats to mask what's really happening inside their bodies. When you tell yourself, oh, they're just tired because it's cold outside, you might be missing the truth. That laziness you're seeing, it might actually be arthritis flaring up from the temperature drop. It could be kidney strain from that dehydration we just talked about, or it could be joint stiffness from inactivity and carrying around a little extra weight. Cats are not going to limp dramatically or cry out when they hurt. They just stop moving. They'll sleep in one spot for hours, hesitate right before jumping, or avoid the stairs entirely. And because it happens so gradually, we just assume it's normal aging or winter behavior. It is not normal. It is literally their way of protecting themselves. So keep this mental checklist of subtle red flags in mind. If your cat is lingering near the litter box, grooming less frequently, moving kind of stiffly after they wake up, or suddenly avoiding pets and interaction they once welcomed, guys, these are not quirky winter habits. These are cats' silent signals of physical distress. Recognizing these behaviors for what they actually are is the absolutely crucial first step in getting them the help they need. I want to leave you with this provocative question to chew on. Are you missing their silent signals? Take a much closer look at your cat's habits today. Are they truly resting? Or are they hiding? By applying the simple, life-changing fixes we've outlined in this explainer, adjusting their food, playing for just a few minutes, clearing the air, and adding hydration, you can ensure their winter isn't just cozy, but truly healthy and pain-free. Thank you so much for joining me, and hey, here's to keeping our feline friends safe this season.